Hey, welcome back to the What the Wealthy Do podcast summer series, where we revisit some of my favorite and your favorite episodes. And this episode, we're going to be talking about, are you living your life like a consumer, or are you living your life like an investor? Most of us want the lifestyle of a consumer, but in order to have that, we need to be living our lives and moving like an investor. That's the paradox. So this episode discusses the two camps of people: the people who are focused on spending their money versus the people who are focused on making their money work for them. If you're ready to stop being a consumer and start being an investor, this is your episode. And just like always, our episodes are intended to give financial education and not financial advice. So let's go. Here's the thing. Everyone knows when you're worth $30 million or more. So I like to really focus on the ultra high net worth individuals. Clearly, they're going to be spending more money than someone who doesn't have that. I'm going to just use myself as an example. My wonderful little home, like when I look at my mortgage compared to someone who is worth $30 million, they're probably not living in a house like mine, and their mortgage is probably way more than mine. So just math alone, they're clearly going to be spending more money day to day, month to month, a week to week, month to month than I will be. And that's okay. But what we can take from them is how they strategically manage their money. I've mentioned this before. They understand that every dollar has a job, and that job is either to grow their wealth, protect their wealth, or enhance their quality of life in a way that aligns with their goals and values. We can learn a lot from the wealthy. There are a lot of things that we should not emulate from them. But one thing that they do that I absolutely believe in, and I think, and I would love for Black women in particular to do more of it, is they center their lifestyle in every decision that they make. So I talked about when they decide what to invest in, especially from an alternative investment perspective. If they like art, they're going to invest in art. If they like homes and decor and real estate, they're going to invest in real estate. If they like fine dining, they might invest in things related to fine dining. But what happens is they get a twofer. They get the investment, and hopefully they invested well. That investment will grow and appreciate and help build their wealth. But they'll also get to benefit from the investment. If they buy fine art, they get to look at it and they get to experience it. If they invest in Broadway shows, they get to visit Broadway and experience it and network with other people that are also investing in Broadway. My dream for us, in particular, my entire community, is that we start to think and enhance our lives similarly. So that means prioritizing investments that enhance your life or experiences that enhance your life over things. Not to say you don't buy the things. When I turned 40, I bought a new computer. I finally bought my Chanel blazer. I bought that Chanel bag too. But that was a one-time splurge for me. And so we need to balance the trade-offs from frequently splurging on things versus splurging or investing in experiences or assets that will enhance our lifestyle. So the question is, are you a consumer or are you an investor? And so when I say consumer, a consumer is someone that buys things on emotions or whims, not strategically. They go with what looks good, feels good. They go with what's in fashion. They go with what other people might think about that particular purchase. A consumer might focus on appearances or trends, instant gratification that comes from checking out at the shopping cart when you're having a bad day, like going out to eat or ordering DoorDash, things like that. It makes you a consumer. And that is, you're spending more on a thing than it's worth. And the value that it's going to deliver to you is a short-term investment. So when you wake up on Saturday afternoon and you're lounging and you decide like, I don't feel like cooking, or I don't feel like going to the store, I'm just going to DoorDash. You know that you're spending that $25 Shake Shack. If you order it from DoorDash, is likely now going to cost you $35 or $40. So you just spend an extra $15 premium. We have those days. It is fine. But some of us are doing it without even thinking. I'm not going to name check some of my friends, but I have some that are just like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order it, and they don't care. And it's those micro decisions that make you a consumer as opposed to being an investor. And an investor spends based on a return. That is a return of money, that is a return of time, or a return on joy. And so again, you can get DoorDash. There'll be days you laying in the bed and sick and you just like, no, I am taking care of myself by ordering this DoorDash to be delivered to me. I am taking care of myself by ordering this Instacart groceries to be delivered to me this week. I have budgeted for that. I have allowed for that. I am taking care of myself to have a cleaning person. I'm taking care of myself to drop my clothes off at the wash and fold laundry. I'm speaking from personal experience. I am spending my time on making money. My time is better spent on investing and evaluating this investment or deal than washing these clothes right now. And so it is literally a mindset difference. And I want to make sure as we head into the holiday season that we're being thoughtful and not being dragged by all of the marketing and propaganda that we're going to be inundated with, as well as our children and friends and family and things like that. I want to make sure that we're thoughtful about what's the return on this for me? What's the value that I'm going to be getting from investing in this thing or going to this holiday party or buying this new outfit for this holiday function that I really don't want to go to? For instance, it was my 25th year anniversary for graduating from undergrad. And it's kind of a big deal, right? Like 25 years is a big deal. And I was feeling pressure to go back to homecoming. And I thought about it. And then I was like, okay, God, I guess I should want to go back to homecoming. And I did some research and I started looking at tickets and I'm like, how do I squeeze this in? Because I'm really, really busy. We're looking to acquire a new company. We're looking to expand margins. We got the medical spot. Like there's so much going on. And then I thought like, wait a minute, do you want to go? Or do you feel like you should go? And I realized I didn't want to go. And so investing the thousands of dollars to go to this thing would not have been a good return on my investment, time, or joy. Because I didn't even want to do it. Right? And so I want everyone to insert the pause and ask themselves, why am I doing this again? Like my end of the year review was not what I wanted it to be, or it was what I wanted it to be so I can online shopping. But do you really want it? Is it really going to be a return on your time, money, or joy? So I want us to start inserting that question before we start to make these financial expenditures, especially during this time of year. We've all been told that we need to pay ourselves first. And this is precisely what the wealthy do. And again, I want you to think about paying yourself in terms of money, time, or joy. So those are our three value currencies that we're evaluating investments by. So the wealthy literally think about their lifestyle and their wealth before anything. If it does not add to their wealth or their lifestyle, they're like, yeah, you can miss me with that. I'm not doing it. So think about how we expend our money and time similarly. One thing a lot of us do, I just speak candidly from my own personal experience. I pay my bills every month. We have mortgage, student loans, all the things. You know what they are. And it is very, very easy to take what's left after you pay your bills and figure out what can I do with what's left. And then you're using the rest of your creativity to make it work. And then obviously, if you're not being very intentional, like what's left after you've invested or after you spent money without that level of mindfulness is not very much. I invite you to do a simple mindset shift and start to think about, what are my investment goals? What do I want to accomplish with my money personally? So that's like, what do I want to save? What do I want to buy for myself that pays me back in terms of time and joy and return on money? Like, what are those buckets? How much of my income do I want to allocate to time, money, and joy? I want you to think about those first. And then with whatever you have left, be creative about how you pay your bills. Now, don't get me wrong, because my mama always told me, make sure you got somewhere to stay and make sure you can get to work. If you're at a place where you're like, okay, girl, I got all this information and I still don't know where to get started, you should look into joining me and some amazing women in the Sovereign Collective, where we are collectively working together to support each other on our own independent wealth journey. journeys. You can look us up at joinsovereign.co, where we are holding each other accountable and supporting each other as we build the investment portfolios of our dreams. So I'm certainly not recommending that you be frivolous with your mortgage and your car insurance. That is not it. But those can be the first things you pay after you pay yourself. So I want you to start to practice paying yourself first. And what that could look like is your 401k, making sure you're allocating appropriately to your 401k. That could look like an automatic savings plan. So when your check hits your checking account, you automatically swipe money out to move it over to your savings or your brokerage account. But you want to take that money right off the top so you know you can't spend it. If you know, as a part of your self-care routine, that you have a cleaning person that comes to your house, or you have a subscription to Hand and Stone or Massage Envy or whatever, then that would be higher on your payment list, and you will safeguard those investments because you know that you need them for, again, joy. That's in your first bucket, your first tranche of expenditures. And then after that, in your second tranche of expenditures, you put your mortgage and your car and things like that. And again, this is assuming you have enough money to pay for all the things. So that's assumption number one. But this simple shift in how you see the world will ultimately flow through to how you manage your money and ensure that you're spending your money intentionally on the things that will enhance your life, as opposed to like making frivolous decisions and only having what's left to expand or to invest in you having joy and money. This simple mindset shift will ensure that the first tranche of your money goes to your investments in time, money, and joy. The second tranche goes to what you absolutely need. And then what you have left, you could trick off. But what we've been doing is paying our bills. So they get the first tranche. Tricking off gets the second tranche. And then investments in our lifestyle in terms of investing in wealth, investing in time and joy gets what's left. And I want us to reverse that and put investing in our lifestyle as number one. So what does that mean as we head into the holidays? So let's talk about what the wealthy do towards the end of the year. First of all, they are looking at, well, what investments can I make to reduce my taxable income? How can I give gifts that appreciate in value? What purchases can I make that enhance my lifestyle and or balance sheet, right? For example, they might invest in a vacation home before the end of the year, or maybe even not. Maybe they just go ahead and make that big investment into their donor advised funds or things like that, because they're literally looking at their balance sheet to figure out, how did I do this year? Did I hit my investment goals, my financial goals? Ultimately, during this time of year, they are looking back to see how the year went for them and to make sure they don't have to make any last expenditures to be able to take advantage of mitigating their tax liability. So what's happening in the market right now, maybe it's rebalancing their investments to make sure that they are taking advantage of all of the changes or opportunities for arbitrage. What they're not doing is being manipulated. And this is not everybody. Let's just say the ideal ones, because we all know that there are very wealthy people that are not savvy. And those are not the people that we are trying to emulate, right? Those are not the strategies that we're implementing in our lives. But they are not necessarily being manipulated by the billions of dollars that are going into the marketing engine that we are seeing right now to get us to mindlessly spend and consume for the holidays. So what the wealthy understand is that every dollar you spend either flows back to you to build your future or to build someone else's future. And as the holidays approach, there are billions of marketing dollars designed to make you feel like you need more, do more, give more. But the wealthy are not necessarily motivated by these Black Friday sales. And neither should you be. Obviously, they buy nice things, but those nice things are part of a bigger plan. Like I said, it all comes back to the lifestyle that they feel that they deserve, as opposed to the lifestyle that someone else has created for them that makes them think that they have to do a certain thing or to keep up with a certain thing. As we head into the season, that's basically the Super Bowl of shopping. It's the Super Bowl for all of these businesses that sell things. I want you to look around this world that we're heading into where TikTok shop is a thing. Like, if you pay attention to Instagram, Facebook, oh my gosh, Facebook is interrupting videos with sponsored ads. If you just pay attention to all of the consumerism that is surrounding us, and we are being inundated with ads for us to buy something, and they know who we are. The algorithm is super smart, and they know the things that will get us to click and watch, and they are counting on us to mindlessly click and buy without being thoughtful. The purpose of this episode is to help you interrupt that mindless shopping. Because if you're the type that want to be an investor and not a consumer, then the way to do that is to interrupt the pattern and insert enough space for you to ask yourself a few questions before you click buy. So the first is, when I see a thing and I'm just mindlessly scrolling and I click it, or when my baby asks this thing for Christmas. I know for me, for Christmas, I used to always be like, one for you, one for me, right? I always allocated money to shop for myself. But before I do that, this year I'm not really doing it because I'm doing a lot more investing and I'm just being mindful there. But before you do that, I want you to ask yourself, is this thing going to expand my wealth? My time is going to give me time back, or expand my joy long term, not in the moment. Because there are sometimes we like when we get that deal and get a little boast of dopamine, frankly, but it is short lived. So long term joy. Does this make me feel wealthy or move me toward wealth? Is the second question. The third question is there a smarter way for me to achieve joy or the outcome that this thing is going to help me achieve? And that's literally what intention or mindfulness is. It is inserting a little bit of space for you to think about the thing before you do the thing. And so that is all. That is the purpose of this episode. Let's think about it practically. So we're heading into the holiday season, and specifically Black Friday and then on into December. And some things that you can do is, as you head into December, I want you to look at all the money that you're going to have coming in the door. First thing first, ask yourself how much of it should be invested on things that are going to expand my wealth, give me more time, and give me more joy. How much of that? And I need to think about how much I spend on that first. Second, what are the things that absolutely need that I have to spend my money on? I'm talking about your mortgage, student loans, insurances, health insurance or whatever, food, those type of essential needs. And then whatever you have left, you can decide how you want to spend it. So that's thing one I want you to do. Thing two, when you are buying things next month, I just want you to buy with intention, even if it's gifts or even if it's ordering Instacart. I want you to pause and ask yourself those three questions. Is this a consumption or investment? Does this make me feel wealthy or move me toward my wealth? And third, is there a smarter way to achieve the same joy or outcome? So if you're healthy and you're not sick, and you got a little bit of time, maybe you go and get the non-essential groceries yourself instead of using Instacart. Even for us, take it a step further. I just did a TikTok post on this. You decide to I'm going to go and get the things that I can get from Aldi or Save-A-Lot or Lidl or any of those like cheaper grocery store chains, and then go get the things that I care about that are name brand that I can only get from the Kroger's, the Giants, the Myers, the whatever you shop at, the Whole Foods, the Trader Joe's. Think about it like the Wegmans. Just think about it like that. Actually, that's only homework I'm going to give you. Them two things. One, shift how you are managing your December budget. And two, buy with intention and ask yourself them three questions whenever you spend your money. So as you are out here in these holiday streets, remember the goal is not to be a consumer. The goal is to be an investor. You're investing in building your wealth, buying back your time, and you're investing in adding joy to your life. because every dollar that you spend can move you closer to freedom or further away from it. The wealthy, they are not smarter than you. They might got more money than you, but they're not smarter than you. They've just been raised to see the world differently. And as a result, they make different choices. They understand that wealth isn't about how much money you make. It's about how much money you have, you keep, and how you deploy it. So this holiday season, we gonna move like the wealthy, like we've been doing all year. All right, y'all, this is the shift from consumer to investor. That's how you go from spending money to making your money work for you. So ask yourself, what's one way you can shift from consumer thinking to investor thinking this week? So let me know in the comments. And if you found this episode to be helpful, don't forget to like, follow, and share with a friend wherever you get your podcast. We are on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And I'll see you next week.